All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida for coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship presented by PoolDog.com. In this matchup, we've got Seth Krafczik of Kimball, Nebraska, and Abrin Schaad of Peoria, Illinois. Seth is in the blue shirt, I believe. Abrin in the green shirt there. So
That's correct.
this will be a race to 7. We'll have 5 games of 8 ball up to 8 games of 9 ball. Once again, they're starting in the 8 ball set, as we've seen numerous times.
Now, I noticed in the match earlier with Robert Hall, I think they started with 9 ball. So I'd like to ask who did that and why. It is typical for the match to start with 8 ball. That's a pretty good break, and it's just unfortunate that Abrin didn't make anything.
No, that was Seth with the break. This is Abrin at the table.
Oh, that's
now.
right, green. Yeah, sorry.
Abrin Schaad, Peoria, Illinois, 26 years old. Been playing pool for 22 years. So since he was 4 years old. Here he is at Strokers Palm Harbor competing in the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Surveying the table here because he's not just looking to make a ball here. He's looking to see what's it take for him to win this game. You know, whether it's running all the way out from here or making 3 balls and then playing a nice lock-up safety. And being the first shot of the match on the TV table, you know, your nerves are going. So normally after a game or two, you see people calm down a little bit more and making the shots. I think he was really wanting to run the cue ball around the table that time. Kind of like to see the shot again to see if I can figure out why he wanted to hit it with that speed.
I think we saw Seth here last year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yep. Last year finished 25th.
He can make, and he's looking at this now, he can make this ball. If he hits it off the rail and then off the 5, it goes right in that pocket, and it clears up the 9 where it clears up that hole. Watch this. Rail and then 5 and then into the hole. This young man can shoot. And he got shape on that, so he now has all of his balls out to a point to where it's not a hard run out. I really don't, at this point, don't want to say easy, but because he's still got some work to do. But he cleared up a couple of major issues with the rack already. He may have to go around a couple of rails here. No, he's drawing the ball back for 10 in the side, left side over there, it looks like. Looks like he may need a bridge that's just a little bit taller than that one. So he's got to stretch across the table. Yeah, this is the way to shoot it. And with this angle, he can go between the 4 and the 7 and hit the rail just past the 7, and then come up the table for the 9 next. He didn't want to bump into that ball, though. Now he's created a big problem with the 13 ball. Yeah, he needed to make sure on that shot that he avoided hitting that 4, because he had a table he could run out, and now he's got to manufacture a run out.
I think these are two of the youngest players in this tournament. Seth is just 20 years old.
Definitely the youngest we've had the pleasure of commentating yet so far. Big shout out to our APA operator in North Alabama, Cindy.
Cindy and Lee up there.
Yeah.
Cindy, of course, Cindy was here for a couple days. Came down.
Yeah, I asked her if she was going to stick around for the men's, and she had to go. I was sad to hear that.
No, but she was excited you were coming down to help us with the event, Richard. She had all good things to say about you, bud.
Oh, thank you both. But I let me rephrase that, though. I said the men's, and this is not
open.
Just for,
the
this
open,
is the Open U.S. Amateur Championship.
I don't believe we have any women in this division this year, but they do have that.
Excellent shot. This is another tough shot. So he's two tough shots back to back, and see he's getting around to look at where he needs the cue ball. He's got to avoid scratching in the side on the left side pocket here as well. That's going to bring it into play right there. See this? Yeah, he's fine job, and I'm sure he knew that before he shot the shot, so he put a little bit of extra side or left English on the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, nice
job
like
there
by
earlier,
Seth.
this young man can shoot.
I was looking over his bio here. Pretty impressive resume, and I'll go over that here in a second. But wow, he's played junior nationals twice, APA singles, 8-ball and 9-ball championships in Vegas last year, 9-ball team championship the last 2 years, 3-time Wyoming and Colorado State junior champion. Yeah. List just goes on and on for this young man. So very impressive.
Yeah, after the first couple of shots, it was obvious that he knows what he's doing, and he's been there, done that, and we're going to see a lot of good things from this young man.
Checking the rack there. And this is the second of 5 games we're going to see in 8-ball. Move to the 9-ball set after that.
Be curious to talk with him and see who his pool influences are, who he's been spent a lot of time playing with and learning from, if anybody.
Yeah.
I just think as young as he is at obviously the level of player he is already, he just about had to have somebody that he patterned his game after. But these days, though, with the availability of all this knowledge on the internet and all the videos and stuff, you could do it from there.
Oh, Richard, that's a perfect segue to me mentioning our YouTube channel, youtube.com/APA Leagues. Not only will you find loads of instruction there, but you'll also find bonus coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. A couple extra matches we have over there. If you want to check those out, you can.
Excellent shot selection. I think if he can just shoot this and stop it, he will. If he's a little bit off angle, he'll follow it up to the rail and back out. And he'll want to get on to the next ball probably to where he can just play a stop shot. Don't run into those balls. Good line. Being on this side of his line is good because that way he can make this ball, send the cue ball to the rail on the right just slightly and bounce off just a little bit for shape of 8 in the corner. He hit that. Now, that makes me wonder if he actually had the shot. I mean, was there a clear path to the corner? I couldn't tell because he did not shoot that like it was a clear path to the corner.
Abrin out of Peoria, Illinois. A little hotbed for pool there in the Midwest.
Just slide over to the rail and out a little bit for the 8 in the top left corner.
Tied at 1. I didn't look before the match. Is this winner's bracket?
Say it again?
Winner's bracket? One-loss bracket? Do we know? Steve, our producer, will get that information for us. Of course, we could just go right to Richard to CompuSport.us, where we've been
That's right.
sending all the folks. What are we thinking? Make life simple on ourselves here. Find out what's going on with these guys in the bracket.
And you can just type in Seth probably
That's
and
right.
it'll go right there.
That's right. Love CompuSport.
Or Abrin.
Winners bracket. Okay, both these players undefeated.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah,
some of the young guns in this year's event. Again, you got Abrin is 26, Seth 20 years old. Pretty impressive. Both these guys been playing for the better part of their lives. Abrin lists his dad as his how he started playing pool.
He's 26. He's been playing 22 years.
Since he was 4 years old. One of those stories of standing
Yeah.
on a milk crate or something to get up to the table, but Iowa State champion, Illinois State champion, both for Abrin. I don't know if those are junior titles, but I mentioned his daughter, Ari. Looks like he plays out of Famous City Billiards and Nana's Bar and Grill. I always like to see who the guys want to, kind of give a shout out to when they're on the stream.
Going to follow it down to the end rail here, I think. Oh. Either way, pulling there or following to the end rail gets him the easy shot on the 3 ball to get shape on the next. But his shape now is not the best in the world because it doesn't. He's got to go through this traffic a little bit, so he bumps into that ball. a little fortunate that he's got even a shot on the 6. So a little bit more care on the previous shot before that to get the right angle would have been a little better.
Richard at the pattern holds. I'm guessing we're going to see a neck-and-neck battle here as we have throughout the day thus far.
I like the way he just hit that ball. He hit it with more speed. The reason he put bottom on it is to allow him to be able to put a little bit more speed on it and get away with it, to hold everything on track. He could have hit it softer with a little top and then hit the one in the other corner, but this allowed him to go ahead and pop the ball in there. He wanted to go a little further. He's probably fine making this in the side, but now the cue ball's rolling, and it's a little tougher shot. See if he stays down on this one. People tend to jump up. He stayed down well.
All right.
I do think he cheated a little bit, though, with his eyes looking at where's that 8 going to go, where's it going, when you really need to keep your, focus straight forward on where the target was.
All right, Seth pulls ahead again by 1 game, 3rd game. This will be the 4th game of the 8-ball set. These young guys moving rather quickly here. And if you're just joining us, this is the U.S. Amateur Championship live coverage from here at Strokers, Palm Harbor, Florida, here in the Tampa Bay area, just across the bay.
It's open to both male and female players.
Yeah,
right?
Open division. 128 players, 8 former champions. This is a double elimination tournament up until the final round, which is an extended race.
To 11, right?
Let me find my cheat sheet here. The final is
8.
Race to 11, 8 games of 8-ball, 13 games of 9-ball. Come on, Richard, it hasn't changed since you were playing in the finals, bud.
I was not asking because I didn't know. Just asking to get her out there.
Of course, Richard Andrews joining us here for the commentary. I'm your host, Jason Bowman. Richard is a former top finisher at the U.S. Amateur Championship, runner-up in 2006.
Yes.
Man, has it been that long, Richard?
2006, runner-up in Atlanta. And then in 2010, I got 5th here at Strokers, not this Strokers, though the other Strokers, but still.
2006 doesn't seem like it could have been that long ago.
Yeah, I know it's been a while.
It's good to have you back here with us, and
yeah, it's good to be here.
Kind of different for you though, sitting back here and not playing. You kind of
it is, but I've done a lot of commentating recently.
Yeah.
Like I made a post the other day. Those who can compete, those who can't commentate. So I'm here commentating.
Well, we're happy you're here, and we're happy you folks are joining us, spending your Saturday afternoon.
He's got a little trouble here on the right-hand side of the screen. You see the pink ball followed by the 2 stripes. So he needs to figure out pretty early on. I mean, he's a little late in the game. Hopefully he's already got it figured out what he's going to do with this. And he can run into that now, but it does complicate this shot. He's got to put top right English on the cue ball. So which means he needs to really overcut this 15 ball, because it'll carry it into that end rail. Now he overcut it too much that time. And so, like I said, that complicates that shot, but he was forced to put top right English on it to get the cue ball to come off the rail and then head toward his cluster over there. I'd like to see him kind of, if there's any way possible, take care of that issue earlier before he gets all of those several obstacles, his opponent's obstacles off the table. He's got a 4-way combination here that he may choose to play. That'll free up some stuff. He could do it later too. So if he wants to, but I got a feeling I would go ahead and do it right now, and that is the 6 into the 1 into the striped ball into the 3. And don't just hit it, though. Think about where will the 6 be, where will the 1 be, and where will that 15 be, I think it is, when you finish the shot. So visualize that. Maybe you don't know exactly where everything's going to be, but visualize it ahead of time. So you want to make sure that the 1 doesn't Yeah, he's not totally in trouble. I think he's got a shot on the 2. And this is why I was saying you got to visualize your shots. You can't just run into them. You got to visualize that and then execute, and hopefully it'll come close. Now on this shot, I think he can follow the cue ball up. I think he can make the 5 in the corner and follow the cue ball up to the right rail just above the 14 ball and play the 4 in the side on the left side, right above his head there. I think he's got the correct angle to do that. And this is not that tough of a shot. But when he pulls the trigger, oh, he's not going for that. Maybe the 4 is easy into the other side pocket, so he didn't want to fool with that shot I was talking about.
This is Abrin Schaad here. His first time at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Also plays in the APA League. Mentioned both of these guys with some pretty serious accomplishments on their resume for being as young as they are.
And they must be 7s and 9s.
Up and comers. Love to see that in the pool world, up and comers. I was looking over the roster for this year's Moscone Cup, and man, loaded with up and comers on that roster. Professional players. You got Skylar Woodward. He's got to only be like 24, 25 maybe.
Yeah, I played
Billy
him
Thorpe
earlier this year.
Billy Thorpe, another young guy. Of course, Shane Van Boning, still pretty young guy. I think he's, in his 30s now, but still seems like a young guy.
Been around forever. I met him when he first came out at Derby City.
I think Corey Doole is the old man of the group. He's my age.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Steyer. You know anything about Tyler Steyer? I don't know a lot about him.
No.
I mean, he's obviously must be an accomplished player to be selected, but he's the rookie on the team, so that's who we'll be sending. Of course, APA proud to be sponsoring Team USA in their quest to regain the Moscone Cup. We'll be interested in seeing that. We'll have a lot of coverage of that here on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel early next month from London. So make sure you give us a like on Facebook so you don't miss any of that stuff.
Got to watch that. Now that looks like the perfect angle to make this 4 ball, so he needs to get it while he's got it, I think.
Andy, this is the winner's side of the bracket still. Both these players undefeated, so one will continue down the winner's side and the other will move to the 1-loss bracket at the conclusion of this match, but both will still be alive in the tournament.
No. If he's got, he may have a piece of that 15 ball into the corner. If he can barely clip that 15 ball, he's still not going to have a shot after that. But so he probably needs to play a safety, and what I would suggest here is go off the right side of the 14 ball and send the cue ball to the end rail around the where you see all that light reflection. That's where I'd want my cue ball to end up. And you want the 14 to come out to where it blocks the 4. So it would be just down the table here from the 4 ball. Cue ball against the rail down first diamond here where you see the light. And the 14 pops off the rail just a little bit and blocks the 4. So the 8 will be end up blocking the 1 ball and the 14 blocking the 4. But even if he doesn't get there, if the 14 doesn't block the 4, and it's not too big of a deal because of the difficulty from that distance. Yeah. Well, he hit it much thinner than I was talking about. And that's why the 14 didn't come out very far, and the cue ball went over, hit the rail a little earlier with more energy, and ended up going further to the left.
All right. Eric Gardner with an interesting comment. Eric, I don't think you could be more incorrect in your statement about APA's involvement in professional pool. Not only are we involved with the Moscone Cup, but for years we're the title sponsor of the Women's Professional Billiard Tour when there were several events a year on ESPN. APA is always supporting professional pool as best we can. One of the issues that professional pool has had is a little bit of a lack of organization, which makes it difficult sometimes to support it in the way you might like. So, but I couldn't disagree with your comment more. And again, I think our Moscone Cup sponsorship, our support of the WPBA over the years, as well as a number of men's professional events over the years, kind of illustrates our commitment to professional pool. So we will have to agree to disagree. Of course, the winner of this event moves on to a professional event. So again, the ties are everywhere. Founders of APA, former professional players.
And even though this event is an amateur event, it was very professionally ran.
Look at that. I love the segue, Richard. Good job, buddy. Good job. So, I mean, I get it. Folks, they want a professional organized tour, but I don't know, at APA, we focus on the amateur side of the game. I don't know that that's our space to work with. Now, we do support it when the opportunity arises, but to actually run it, I just don't know that that's necessarily for us. We choose to focus on the amateur side and making things as good as we can there, and that's why we've been as successful as we have. It's interesting. I get a lot of professional players that talk to me about kind of the same thing. They say, well, how come APA? And I say, well, what? I said, give me a blueprint on how it works, right? How it can, it doesn't even have to make money. How does it not lose money? Tell me how we do that, and maybe we can do something. But I've yet to see a real good laid out plan of how that works. I mean, companies can't just take money and throw them at something as like charity. It's got to be sustaining if it's going to be successful. Right. It's got to be able to self-sustain itself. Doesn't necessarily have to be a super profitable thing, but it does have to be something that can be around year after year and kind of pay for itself, if you will. And that's the real challenge that professional pool has faced in the United States. I know overseas, a little more success, but a lot of times you've got government entities and federations that are involved in that kind of thing. So hopefully one day somebody will come up with a formula, and I promise you that if they do, APA will be right there supporting it.
I noticed on that jump shot that he jerked back his stroke. It wasn't the smooth stroke that he normally has, and I would suggest to him that he try to avoid that jerk, and he'd be more consistent on his jumps. He's probably normally makes every jump he shoots. So, but anyway, I think that will help with consistency.
David, the brackets are at compusport.us. Of course, you can also go to our website, poolplayers.com. If you go to the U.S. Amateur Championship section or page of our website, you can find it there as well. But all right. Seth now opening up a 3-1 lead here. This race to 7. While we've got a moment, should mention our friends at PoolDog.com. Speaking of sponsors and events, these guys, man, you talk about involvement, not only with APA, but just really across the billiard community. They support a lot of stuff. And, the way that works, folks, is that you, in turn, kind of support them. When you're buying your cues and your cases and your billiard stuff, we ask you to do it through PoolDog.com. Kevin and Eric and all the folks there at PoolDog and their involvement in the billiard industry, much appreciated.
Now, and when you go to the site that you have there, does it automatically put the APA Champs code in there for it, or do you also have to?
That I don't know. I think you might have to use that like when you're checking out. If you're talking about the free towel offer they've got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you probably
just
have to.
Remember APA Champs.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go to pooldog.com/APA Champs, Got some different offers and things there for you guys. So just kind of an added benefit that they've thrown out there for the viewers. Again, we appreciate all their support helping us to bring you this coverage. Completely complimentary, not only this coverage, but our bonus coverage over on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/APA Leagues.
Looks like you made 1 stripe and 2 solids on that break. And we need to look at this closely. Watch the cue ball. He won't double hit it at that angle, but a lot of times people will line up straight with that shot instead of going from the side. And my understanding is you have a nice video online now on APA that shows people all about this double hit.
Hits. Yeah, in fact, we used Gord Fezenden, one of our league operators up in Canada. Super nice guy. He sits on our handicap review committee. Helped us out when we were out in Vegas. We thought, you know what, let's put together a video to try to help better illustrate, you know, double hits, when they occur, how to identify them. He did a great job of doing that. Again, you can find that on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/APA Leagues. We also got kind of a new video series, pretty cool video series called You Make the Call, where we lay out a scenario and you get to decide like what the right answer is. Kind of like the old You Make the Call that baseball had years ago. I don't know if you remember that. Back in the day. You'd have an umpire. It'd be a weird situation. They say, so is he out? Is he safe? And tried to do that with some of our rules.
Right.
Meanwhile, Seth Krafczik starting to get hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
And I wanted to mention a minute ago that when he brought the cue ball across the table in between the 9 and the 15, I think, he had to pretty much stop that on a dime. So he with the way he approached that, he had to have, he did not want to hit that. He turned out okay. He didn't want to hit the 13. But he had to have very good control, very good understanding of the speed of the table to pull that off. So that was very nice.
All right. Seth closes out the 8-ball set with a 4-1 lead.
Now they're moving on to the
9-ball
9-ball part of this, and they'll play up to 8 games of 9-ball.
Boy, as quickly as they move through the 8-ball set, we may be done in the next 15 minutes in this match. Holy cow.
Let's do it.
These guys are cruising along. 9-ball usually moves a little bit faster than 8-ball, so we'll see. But like I said, Seth appears to be kind of heating up here, and we'll see if that carries over into the 9-ball set. He will have the break.
A little while with his cue ball there. He hit off to the right side, and he has a shot on the 1, but you do not want to let your, generally, you do not want to let your cue ball get past the spot on the other side of the spot from the way we're looking at it, because there's a lot of the 1 ball typically will be down to this end, and the 2 ball too. The 2 ball's not necessarily racked in the back in this format here, but a lot of times people do rack the. Look at that shot. Do rack the 2 in the back, so it works its way around to this end. So normally there's a couple of reasons to make sure your cue ball stays center or back toward us a little bit. No really good shot on the 2 ball, so he may need to one thing he could do is shoot it straight down like he was trying to make it in the corner and just let it carom off of the 5 ball and end up on the end rail down here, and then leave the cue ball behind the 4-6 blockers.
And looking ahead to tomorrow's schedule, because I know a lot of folks wondering, you know, what time the finals will be.
And that's on CompuSport.us.
It is. Let's see what time we've tentatively scheduled for 2 p.m. tomorrow. I don't know that that'll be the case. That seems a little early to me. But
I think that's
what we do on Sunday
aggressive.
is continuous play. So as matches come in, they go back out and that kind of thing. So, but tentatively 2 p.m. We'll update you guys as we go. Of course, we're gonna have coverage all day tomorrow as well, and so you guys will be able to follow along. But again, the easiest way to make sure you don't miss that is if you like our Facebook page. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you're getting all the matches all the time with notifications.
I think he just sold out this game by being too aggressive. He almost won the game by being aggressive because if he'd have made that ball, he would be the one getting out from here. But I do think if he had tried the shot that I was talking about, he would have had a good chance of getting ball in hand after that shot. This actually leads to easy shape on the next ball. He just pockets it. I know it looks like a tough shot, but like I said earlier, that's bread and butter to people who play rotation games. The angles like that, because you want to give yourself the angles like that where you can easily move the cue ball over to the next shot. This should be about a stop shot. He pulled it back slightly, and that's good to get that little angle to make it. Oh, do that again. Sorry about switching back and forth there. So he can pocket this ball and just roll the cue ball up a little bit. And look at this other view here. He can either roll it forward or he'll probably pull it back slightly. Yeah, and now he's easily got the 9 in the corner.
Nice response by Abrin there. Cuts into Seth's lead. Now trails by only 2 games.
It's the first time we've seen a three-game spread, I think. You know, 1-4. It's been.
Yeah, everything's been one ahead, even, one ahead, even, one ahead, even. Abrin will have the break, checking the rack there. Looks satisfied in what he's seen. Got the 6 ball. It's the only one I don't see.
Looks like it. Will the one go? It will go in the corner. He'll have to not hit it very hard at all, but he can hit the. Oh, he has a. That's
a 1-3 combo there.
Didn't even cross my mind to play the combo there. I thought he could make the one off the rail just a little bit, but I've been watching this table, you know, through several matches too, and I know that it will go if you hit it soft. From that angle where his stick is, you could hit it there softly and it'll still fall in the pocket. He has some work to do here, I think, to get the cue ball into the right position. That's not going to be good, leaving it on the rail like that. And he also came, a little close to that side pocket. Time for a bridge, maybe, unless he's ambidextrous. And if you need a bridge, I bet you can get one from pooldog.com.
I like your segues, Richard. Good job, buddy.
Oh, that's going to be good. You can draw it back just a little bit. The way I would like to have this is draw it back just a little bit. That way I can, yeah. I wouldn't want to be straight in on the 8 after this shot. I'd want to have a little angle where I can take it to the rail, and then once it comes off the rail, yep. Then once it comes off the rail, then it's right in line for the 9 into the corner. See that? Now he's in line, in line, in line, in line.
All right, quick work there for Abrin. Yeah. Now trails by just 1 game. He's really come to life here in this 9-ball set.
Yeah, maybe he likes 9-ball a lot better. What does it say?
He plays all games the same speed.
Yeah. Fast.
What's the score? Brian Parks up 3-0. Is that on the bonus coverage? Some folks asking about the Brian Parks score. If you go to our YouTube channel.
Parks is 3-0 against, is it Schaad?
Yes. Yeah, I really love the bonus coverage, the ability, you know, it's always so hard to pick a certain match for us. And, of course, we can only talk about one at a time, but we can bring you several at a time, which is what we've been doing here. We have literally tripled our streaming coverage this year.
See how solid he hits these. Watch the cue ball.
Mark Montgomery, you're asking about the score tracker on top of the light this year. I'm assuming you're referring to the bonus coverage, and the reason we do that is to give the viewers an update on the score. It allows us to not have to track it as we focus on this particular match.
Yeah, the same thing is above this table as well,
right.
But there's no need to have the camera up that high when we have the score at the bottom.
Right. Later in the day today, when we kind of pull back our commentary crew, the players are able to kind of keep the score. So we're able to continue to bring you footage and video without necessarily having to operate all the buttons back here. So. All right, Abrin.
He needs to be careful that he doesn't make both of these balls unless he unless he plays shape for the 6 on this shot. So, yeah, he hit it so soft. He was, and at an angle to where it was not going to fall. So now just a little bit of low left will help it drag down the table to get close. He putting his stick. You see the pros do that a lot. Put the tip of their stick right where they want the cue ball to be. to end up. But you typically you really don't have to land on a dime like that. It's more landing on the line. So any time the last few, see, he going at that angle, he is kind of having to land on a dime. He couldn't afford to go to the side rail where the 8 is, because then he might run into the 8 or the side pocket. So he was forced to come straight down and land on a dime like that. But typically what you like to do is the last few inches or a foot or two, you want to be on the line that you need to be on, and then you don't have to land on the dime. So you'll see the good players a lot of times coming off of a rail, the last rail they come off of, from there for the rest of the travel of the cue ball, it's in line. Good shooting. Very good shooting.
Abrin has come storming back here, now tied 4-4. Been very strong here in the 9-ball set.
What you want to bet, though, Seth is saying, just give me a shot.
Yeah,
give me a
sure.
shot.
And that's the way it works here sometimes. So if you're digging our coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship and you're wondering how to be a part of it, you can go to usam.poolplayers.com and sign up today for next year's event. It is that easy, that quick. You sign up, you'll play in a preliminary round, and if you place high enough in that round, you will advance here to the championship round. So.
And although you don't have to be an APA member to play in this event,
get a nice discount if you are.
There's all kinds of advantages to being an APA member. So, not sure why he hit his stick on the table like that. He's got a straight-in shot on the ball. I'm not sure what he was upset about there. He made 3 balls and got a shot on the lowest ball on the table. I'd be happy.
Oh.
The reason he's doing that is because it takes a lot to get to the next shot where he wants to be.
Right.
See where the chalk is? Not the one he put down, but the one ahead of that. That's where he'd like to be, right in that area. And that was an excellent shot.
So he regroups there.
Oh, man. Excellent shot.
So love watching the nuances of these players and the different.
To the end rail and back down about where his hand was. He doesn't want to sit on the rail. It really complicates the shot. If he'd been where his hand was, the shot is just super easy. But it just makes it just a little bit tougher.
Bill, that address to enter next year's U.S. Amateur Championship is usam.poolplayers.com. I think we've got that pinned here at the bottom of your comments section, so you can just click right on that. Love for all of you viewing to be able to join us here next year.
And if you want to play with a lot of the best players across the U.S. and Canada, this is the event to get in.
You think you're a good player, you want to test yourself, this is where you do it.
He went too far on this shot.
This is where you do it.
He'll still make this, I'm fairly certain, but it's tougher. He's got to avoid the side pocket now. Avoid the corner pocket with the cue ball.
And meanwhile, Seth is just sitting, waiting and hoping for an opportunity, and that's how it goes at this level of play sometimes. You got to wait for your opportunity because your opponent is on a roll, and Abrin certainly has been on a roll since we switched to the 9-ball set.
I know y'all probably don't keep these stats, but it would be nice. I'm curious to know what's the max number of racks, consecutive racks, ran by any player ever
that would
in
be
US
interesting.
Amateur.
That would be interesting. I could make up a number. How about that? 47.
I bet it's a bunch.
Yeah, it would be. It would definitely be interesting to know that. Well, one day when we get to electric scoring and the records are kept by the balls dropped and all that. And I don't think we're as far away as you think. We got a lot in the works back at APA. So powerful break, but yeah, he got something there. What did he get there? Gets the 2-ball?
Yeah.
2-ball.
And straight in on the 1. He's got the 1 in the side pocket. He just needs to draw it straight back, I think. Straight back to like where his stick is on the rail. And notice how he pulled it off away from the rail. He put enough draw on it to get it away from the rail because he wants to have that angle where he can move it. If he was straight in down there, which a lot of people make the mistake of getting straight in, you got to purposely not get straight in. Now, if you're on the 9 ball, you know, it's a little last ball in the rack and you're not having to move anything around, fine. But a lot of times I don't even want to be straight in on that. But he's working it all out. What's it take to run this rack
yeah,
out?
that's what he's trying to figure out.
Where do I want to be?
He said this is the most I've seen him take between shots, I think, the entire match. And because he's kind of sizing up the table, thinking several plays ahead.
This is just smooth shot into the hole, and the cue ball goes to the center of the table.
And, of course, I'm sure it's not lost on him the run he's had here. Is his opponent certainly capable, if he gets back to the table, of returning the favor, so he does not want to let that happen.
I'm a little surprised he drew that ball over there because he could have followed it to the other side of this ball and out. And see how he's having to stretch out now? If he had followed this up to the rail, it would have been further over to the right and been much easier for him to approach the shot. Yeah, he does not want to get right of that where he just put his tip. He's a little worried about that. I would suggest at this point he looks like he's a little aggravated.
Yeah, he's
that he go clean his stick, even if it's pristine right now. Go over and wipe his stick down, get him a drink of water or whatever he's got, and then come back to the table with a big breath. Because I don't think it's good to play, you know, with as good as he plays. Still, you know, I think he needs to calm down before he shoots. And there he goes. Maybe he's going over there to clean his stick. Have these guys got earphones?
I don't know. Maybe they're watching. Maybe they're listening to us on Facebook. No, I highly doubt it.
But that's part of what he's doing right there. Yeah. Then I think chalking his stick, he's calming himself down a little bit. Smooth. Stay in it.
Got it.
Don't go past that point. He's okay, even if he hits the 7, I think.
All right.
Yeah. But that's what he was scared of, I think, the whole time there was getting over to the right of that and being behind that 7, and that blocking his shot. So he's okay, but he's still got another problem though. The 9 is blocking the 7 into that corner, and he doesn't have a super easy way to get the cue ball back. Well, he may be able to pull it, drag it. No, he tried to and didn't get there. Looks like, yeah.
Man, he's animated. He
I was just about to say
super animated. I love it.
He is animated.
Poole needs more of that. I love it.
He's into it. Yeah, so many of the top players are so stoic. It makes the game not as interesting as when you're watching somebody like
Abrin.
Yeah.
Lots of body language from him.
Yeah, I know he doesn't want to play safe right here, but I would probably see where his hand is. I'd probably try to leave the cue ball about there. I'd knock the 7 down at this end of the table, closest to us, and about the center of the table, and just put the cue ball behind the 9, and live to fight another day.
Well, he went for it.
Yeah, that's the problem with the shot, and he knew that it was very risky, but he wanted to go for it. You know, he had run out on his mind. And
I think he wanted to stay at the table.
Yeah, but it's more important to stay in control of the table.
Sure.
So if you leave that, if he'd have left the cue ball, I don't think he'd had any problem pulling off the shot that I was talking about, and then he probably would have gotten ball in hand after that. he shouldn't have the cue ball against the rail here on that shot. You need to take great care to keep your cue ball away from the side rails.
All right, a little bit of a turn of momentum there. Seth now evening it up. And we'll have the break. Meanwhile, I want to remind you folks, if you're not already a member of the APA, you can join today at poolplayers.com/join. Great way to get out of the house, have some fun, meet some new people. Do it, and do it today. Looks like we're going to have the players going to take a quick break, so we're going to hear a word from our friends at Pool Dog.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PoolDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PoolDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
I mentioned we've got our extended coverage over on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/APA Leagues. I think, is Brian Parks still playing over there? Is that match still? 4-1 Brian Parks. I know some folks asking about that again. If you just subscribe to our YouTube channel and you like us on Facebook, you make sure you don't miss any of it when you do that. So make life a little bit easier. Looks like Seth is back. He's examining the rack here. Asking for a slight adjustment there. All right, Seth has the break. 5-5, race to 7. He is, oh, that 8-ball does drop. Looked like it was going to be a dry break there, but that 8-ball just got in the pocket. This has been yet another outstanding match. I don't know that we've had one on the stream table that wasn't a real nail biter, Richard. They've all been so close.
Yeah,
what do you think?
A lot of good play.
Yeah. And the staff at Strokers checking us out back here. Should mention all the great customer service they've been providing all day, throughout the week. Really
with
taking
a smile on their face.
Great care of us. They really have been outstanding since we've been here, Jose and all the folks.
Staff. All the staff are awesome here, along with the food.
I think we're making her blush, Richard. She ran away.
Right. Perfect angle on this ball to move to the next ball. Always getting one angle. I'm a little surprised that he bumped into that ball, because if you do that, it could have slid over behind it or something. It was a little dangerous, I thought.
Oh.
He had just a little bit of left English on the ball that I don't think he was he accounted for, and that threw the 5 over to the right, and that caused it to bobble in the pocket. Time to get that bridge out, because I really don't think he wants to kick at this. Unless he's playing safe. Looks like he may be playing safe on this and putting the cue ball. See the chalk up at about where his elbow is. See the 2 pieces of chalk down there? That's where he wants to leave the cue ball. He just moved him over, and he's going to hit the 5 really thinly, unless he changes his mind here. What he's thinking right now is hitting the right side of the 5 just about as thinly as he can hit it. the 5 moves over a little bit toward the center of the table, and the cue ball hits this rail next to the 5, and then around toward the second diamond, and then up to where he just put his stick. And it, yeah. Actually, I don't think it's going to hit that far down, but he needs to hit around the second diamond, I think, to get there, not the third diamond.
Kayla Farmer, see your comment there, and I'm sorry to hear you've had some difficulty. If you want to send us a message here on our Facebook page, let us know where you're from and how we can get a hold of you. We'll see if we can't help you to get your son playing in the local league. That may have to do with his age. Again, I don't have a lot of information on it or details, but you know, some of our leagues are not large enough yet to sustain juniors play, so that may have been the issue. But again, send us a message. We'll try to figure out exactly what's going on there, because again, we're trying to make sure anybody that wants to play can get involved. We'll be happy to help you as best we can.
It looks like he's trying to send the 5 up there instead of the cue ball, and if he's going to do that, then he's going to pull the cue ball over behind the 6 like that. Yeah. No, that's not going to be good. He pulled the cue ball over too far. If he had a pretty good area to land the cue ball against the rail there. I think that would have been my main focus on that particular shot, was placement of the cue ball and not the 5. Because if he was just if he was just a little bit further over, he had a good bit of room there behind the 6 to block.
I'm going to bring Abrin back to the table.
You're going to see a stroke here.
Nice.
Yeah, problem is hitting it that hard. When it hits the ball, it makes it go off to the left a little bit more than if he could have hit it softer. Then it would have been able to go straighter to the rail and not over to the left as much. But then it might have not gotten all the way down. So he was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place there. Very
see
good
his
shoot.
Frustration there.
Yeah, but that was a good shot. Now it was a good shot. He goes to the end rail and then back down his line. Once he leaves this end rail, he's in line, in line, in line. You'll see this over and over and over, folks, with the better players. They'll come off that rail. They find a place where do I need to come off the rail to where I'm on track. I'm on that landing strip. Good shoot.
Abrin now on the hill. Boy, he's an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, it looks. He makes it look like he made the worst shot in the world, but he put it perfect. I don't know what's up.
Maybe
that's his way of celebrating.
Yeah, maybe. I like watching him play. He's very animated. Mm-hmm. Very animated, and doesn't take a lot of time to shoot. So
does he play?
Those are good combinations for viewership right there.
Does he play out of Famous City Billiards?
Famous City
is that
Billiards,
one of your APA locations?
Offhand, I don't know, but I'm guessing probably so.
Famous City Billiards.
References Famous City Billiards and Nana's Bar and Grill. So
yeah, they probably helped him come here, and you promote that, right?
He plays in the APA League. Yep.
A
lot of these players, their homeroom, helps them out getting here and gives them some sponsorship support, maybe paid their entry fee kind of thing. That's definitely encouraged.
Yeah, Bumpers used to sponsor me in the
Did
U.S.
they?
Amateur. Yeah,
Nice.
Until Robert bought the place.
And then he cut off the line of credit.
That's gone. No, that was just their policy.
Yeah.
Once they bought it, that they weren't going
Interesting.
to be able to do that. Not just with me, but with it,
Sure.
across the board, no sponsorships.
Got a good comment from Nicole about his animated play.
Oh,
Nicole
okay.
who? Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Damon said when he's not animated, that's when he's frustrated. So that's good
really?
to know. Again, we don't know a lot about Abrin.
Yeah.
We just enjoy watching him play. And
And he's an excellent player, too, by the way.
He is. Both these players really
Yeah, both
excellent.
of them.
Really, this has
They
been a
are.
fantastic match thus far. So.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think he may have hooked himself behind that 6. He did.
All right, here we go. Grabbing the jump cue.
Yeah, you know, I I would not jump this. The way I would hit this ball is a 3-rail shot where you three. It's sort of like 3-railing the cue ball into this side pocket in the center of our screen and closest to on the bottom here, and you hit it into the bottom left corner, and it comes around and hits the. See, whoa,
I missed it.
Well, he had to get it up so quickly that you have to hit it soft enough to where it gets down quickly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you jump over the object ball as well.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets another opportunity at the table here because Abrin is.
But where that 2 ball was sitting, it was in the way of that 3-rail path. I wish I could draw it out for you, but it was a 3-rail path. Hopefully some of you understand what I'm saying here. 3-rail path back to that side pocket. The 2 ball just kind of get in the way. Sort of at the same angle he's hitting it now. It would have come off the rail down there where his stick is and then hit the ball. And he may have actually made it if he'd have shot that 3-rail kick shot.
So the viewers have a hashtag going on, Hurricane Abe. Hashtag Hurricane Abe. I like it. I like it. This kid's got some marketability, and I like it.
Good angle for him to come back across the table for the 5. He'll probably land about where his chalk is, just a little bit further up from his chalk because he wants to take that side pocket out of play. See this? And get straight in. Or close. Yeah, I say straight in, but he does need a little bit of angle in order to make. Now he's fine. He can pull it back and make the cue ball stay on the rail. Kind of get close to the 6 ball now, and then he can move it up to pull it on back. Yeah. And now there's no whoa. I think he got point hooked. Let's say. That's brutal.
Yeah, he's looking at it. They're both.
That's brutal, and it's probably happened to him before. It's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing you got to do is not allow your cue ball to get that close to it because that can happen. And, wow, I think he's got to play safe from here. If he is truly hooked by that point, you bring the cue ball around the table close into this corner. Hopefully he can make it. He can make it, yeah. Yeah, he could see it. He wasn't hooked like I thought. He just missed a shot. But
all right.
This shot here is just, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to watch, see what he does.
Pockets the 6 in the corner. Uh-oh.
That was really a good shot, though. A little bit of bottom right. Allow it to curve and hit the rail just before the 7. And it'll come off and pocket the 7, and the cue ball comes out a little bit. But he's still not going to have a good shot on that 8 ball, I don't believe. Yeah, he won't. If he comes out very far, he won't have a shot on the 8. He needs to come out just a little bit. So hopefully he hits the 7 pretty full and holds the cue ball down there close to the end rail where he can play the 8 into the side. But just hit it really low. Low lift. Cue ball. Wow. I think he could have curved the ball just a little bit without jacking up. I mean, just slightly jacking up the back of the stick.
Yeah.
And just like a slow draw with draw left, and he would have been okay there.
Well, I fear that may be it for Mr. Krafczik, at least in this match, but we'll see. Abrin's got to run out here, but looks to be in control of this rack.
Now you see how he came off that second rail instead of going across it. If he'd come one rail and down, he'd have been going across his line that he needed to be on. So he chose to go 2 rails, and once he came off the second rail, he was on the line he needed to be on. And he, okay.
Gonna go ahead and concede the match. He's gonna not make him shoot that last 9 ball. Nice show of sportsmanship there by Seth. Congratulations to Abrin. He wins 7-5 in what was an outstanding match between those two. Look forward to seeing them here in the future. For now,
I think we're going to see a lot more of both of these guys.
I do too. Yeah. Maybe before it's all said and done this weekend too. So
yeah.
We'll see. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll be back with more coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship in just a little bit. Thanks for joining us.